Hey guys, we are back for another demo, and this time we'll be going through some sections. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that last video by, who was that? By Platform Studio. I thought it was a really good one. It was excellent for a beginner. So what I did was I was able to download all of their assets that they had for public use. I've downloaded them and I have them for you guys in the sections folder, and you will find that in the link on this module. I'd like for you guys to try the demo that they've actually showed on that particular video, and I'd like you guys to also try a section using one of my projects that I'm currently working on called Marvista section, and go ahead and use all of their assets and try it again. Okay, so I'm gonna do my version of that simply by dragging that section into Photoshop. Again, it's a pretty large file. It's 300 pixels per inch, and the width is 32 inches because this was printed from a CAD, and we were printing in 36-inch wide piece of paper. My recommendation is to drop that down to at least 12, and you notice that the file size gets incredibly reduced, which is a good thing. So here we go. So this is a section. This is actually a project that I'm currently working on up in the Malibu Canyons. It's a pretty hilly site actually, and this is one of the sections that I just try to experiment with and kind of show you guys how to kind of do architectural section Photoshop style. Alright, so let's first establish kind of a strong ground plane, and in this particular section I'm showing some foundations going down deeper, which we don't really need to show. So let's just go ahead and try to establish a strong ground plane. I'm going to go back and take his little bitmap that he had, which I thought it was pretty good. So I'm going to bring that in. And here it is. I don't really care about the scale or things like that because I just want to get a feel for it, and I kind of want it to be darker. So I'm going to take the darker part of that, kind of stretch it out and kind of place that, and then we'll click. So that is my earth layer, and what I want to do is I want to mask it, right? So I'm going to go ahead and turn that off and use my base layer as my trace. And to trace kind of freehand, I actually don't like to use a lasso tool because you have to hold down the mouse. So come down to the three dots down here. Oops. Where did you go? Hold on. The three dots down here. Hold your cursor down, and I like the polygon lasso tool because that just allows me to click, and then just move my mouse and click again. And I'm just going to, it's ground or dirt, so I'm not going to be really picky about getting my selection perfect. And actually, let me just kind of explain this project a little bit. This part is all kind of floating above, this is kind of like empty space, if you will. We're actually putting the first floor and we're putting this house on stilts. So technically that should be represented as quote unquote dirt. So I'm going to go ahead and add to my selection. And again, I should have done this earlier, but actually, you know what? Let me back up. I'm going to put a background on the bottom of my line layer so I can see where I'm at. Again, I personally prefer this kind of a pewter yellow, kind of like an architectural tracing paper, just a habit. And I can see, my PDF file has some clear, white background image instead of all being clear. But no worries, we'll probably fix all of that. So let me go back here, and I'm going to go back to my polygon lasso tool. I'm going to just start my ground somewhere up here. This is a stairs. This is like a planter, so I'm going to leave. Yeah, actually, you know what? Up here, and I'm going to say the dirt comes up to that line. Yeah, this is kind of like a deck walkway, so I think I'm going to do this. I'll cover all that up. You know what, I take it back. I'm just going to do the dirt part and let the parts that are supposed to be floating in the air look like they're floating. I think it's going to look weird if I cover it all up. Sorry guys. Again, this part is dirt, so I'm up. Oops. This so that I can make the architectural walls black, which kind of looks kind of sharp. I'm holding down shift when I want to draw a straight line. I'm kind of missing it, so I'm going to bring it up here. Yeah, I'm going to just cut it. And you know, in post-production meaning after you produce a particular drawing and you're going back and editing it, you know, you're going to find artifacts in your original drawing that you're going to want to fix. And, you know, or you just have to spend a lot of time in your original file like Revit and clean up all the line work. So one way or another, you know, you're going to have to do some post-production work to get a clean piece of artwork, if you will. So anyway, I have my ground set up. So if I turn on this layer here, I'm actually going to now take, you know, I have a selection. I'm on the layer where I brought in this texture. I'm simply going to right click and say make clipping mask. Make mask, there you go. Oops, sorry, that shouldn't have been happening. Create clipping mask. My bad. So right click on the layer, clipping mask, and then there you go. And I have my earth kind of showing out. And then I noticed that, I don't know what happened here. Let's check that out. What is going on? Let me undo that. That is weird. I actually kind of screwed up a bit. Instead of clicking create clipping mask here, and I'm not quite sure why I was doing that. I'm going to have to do some research later. But actually, the proper way to do it would be to create a clipping mask through this filter down here. So what you're doing is you're adding a layer mask, meaning on top of this earth layer, you want to mask it with your selection. So you click that, and there you go. Everything else disappears, which is also nice, like on previous videos, that you can unlink the image to the layer mask so that you can move the image and bring some of the dark parts in. And I can see here that some of the dark parts are good, but I also wanted more dark parts here. Alright, so I really like this dark spots, but I'm losing some of that here just because all the dark spots were on the top of the image. So there's another trick that you can do. So let's get in here, and we want to make sure that we're editing the image and not the mask. You can come down here to image, and what we can do is, let me see, let's do a burn. So I was looking in the wrong pile. It's been a while since I've been using Photoshop, but I'm going to we're going to talk about an old kind of photographic term. There's a thing called dodging and burning, which was what I was looking for. So dodging and burning is back when we used to do photo printing the old school way, where you had the negative and you get the photo paper and you expose the negative with the light to the photo paper, and the photo paper is sensitive to the light, and then it creates an image. Well, you can actually burn the image a little bit more by exposing it to more light, which will make it darker, or you could dodge the image, and there was, you know, different ways of doing it. I don't want to bore you guys too much. So, but the terminology is called dodging and burning. So if I want to make it darker, I want to burn. So you want to come down here and look for this burn tool, and then when you burn it, I'm going to increase the. So if I kind of come in here and kind of rub my cursor over it, what it's doing is it's taking that image, and it's not making it, you know, it's not adding a black pigment. It's actually taking that particular pixel, this grayish pixel, and burning it or making it darker. So I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to just take these edges and just kind of increase the contrast and a little bit darker. Alright, so this is called burning, and I'm just going to come in here and just kind of rub my mouse over areas that I want to make darker. Maybe make just a brush kind of streak it a little bit. You know, whatever you guys want to do to it. I think, you know, the more you guys experiment, you guys will develop a little style. All right, so here. All right, so that's enough of that. So yeah, that ground looks pretty decent.